What's up? It's your friendly neighborhood puppy chaser. Let's talk equipment. All the fun toys ACOs use to get the job done. Among the gear you'll be issued as an ACO is your duty belt. Much like a law enforcement officer, we too have a utility belt of tools. Most every department will issue OC spray, which stands for Olyrosin capsicum. It's more commonly known as pepper spray. Some call it mace, however the ingredients are different. Mace will not cause an inflammatory response, whereas pepper spray will. Animal control uses OC spray for a few reasons. The most common is to deter an aggressive dog, but we are trained to use it on people as well. So don't mess with us. In my experience, the small canister they issue for your belt is pretty useless against aggressive dogs. I prefer the large fogger because it gets in the dog's mouth and lungs. When a dog gets hit in the eyes, it will rub its face on the ground and continue its attack, depending on how determined it is. Getting a dog to inhale the spray will cause it to choke for a second, and most of the time it will back off the attack. Big shocker, pit bulls usually come back for more. It's important to know when to use OC spray, and when to choose a different option. Take, for instance, a situation where an aggressive dog is guarding the entrance to a home where EMS needs to tend to a patient. Spraying the dog at the door would cause dispersal into the home, affecting the patient and the EMS personnel. Always be aware of your surroundings. Maybe you're outside, but it's windy. The spray could be redirected into your face or the face of whoever is in the area with you. You may also get a two-way radio. This is obviously important for communicating with dispatch and other officers. I personally purchased my own earpiece microphone, as it allows me to hear the radio easily while also preventing others from hearing it. Although 10 codes are used a lot, some information does not need to be heard by the general public. Another tool commonly issued is a baton or bite stick. I'm going to tell you right now, you will likely never use this. Especially in today's environment of camera phones and sensitive people, using a baton is generally poorly received. Even if you are completely justified in whipping it out to defend against a dog attack, all the public will see is you beating the crap out of a poor puppy. It's not a pretty sight. Save yourself the headache and the scrutiny by choosing another tactic. Some departments issue Taser CEWs or controlled electrical weapons. Tasers are great. I am solid in the pro-taser category. Downside is, in order to utilize this tool, you must first experience it. You either get the probes taped to you, or you get shot. I received the latter in my training, and no, you can't see the video. I did find some videos around the internet for you, though. Remember that scenario I gave you earlier about the aggressive dog keeping EMS from entering? Yeah, that would be a perfect time to use a taser. The cartridge containing the coiled probes can be removed to perform what is known as a drive stun. There are two prongs that create an arc of electricity. All it takes is one tap on the dog's nose, and that thing will take off quicker than a cheetah with its tail on fire in the opposite direction. Drive stunning also works well for an attacking dog. You need to have good timing and confidence to pull this off. I'll wait for a dog to get right up on me, and just before it bites, I'll zap it in the face. Definitely don't try this if you are afraid to get bitten. If you're even a fraction of a second off, that dog will make contact with you, and it's gonna hurt. Shooting a dog with the probes is more difficult, as you'll need to turn the taser slightly. The prongs normally shoot top and bottom, the top lining up with your laser and the bottom dropping slightly below. If you're aiming at a running dog, the top probe may hit, but the bottom will pass below the chest, creating an incomplete connection. By turning it at an angle, you have a better chance of making contact with both probes. Sometimes you can get a dog to back off just by arcing the taser, as the sound can be very intimidating. Officers should also have a flashlight, maybe two handy. Calls occur at night, and we can be required to go into dark or low-lit areas. Flashlights are always a good tool to have available, and I like to keep an extra one in the truck, just in case. Another tool I always keep on me is a knife of some sort. Knives are incredibly versatile, and I've used them for many situations. I like having options, so multi-purpose knives are my go-to, but I also keep a fixed blade in the vehicle. Chip readers are essential tools to keep in the vehicle as well. Every animal you come across should be checked for a microchip. If they're lost, microchips can aid in the identification of the animal's owners so they can be reunited. Microchips are also great for preventing thefts. Many vets will automatically scan a new patient to make sure they don't already have a chip registered to someone else. Microchips are an easy and effective way of providing proof of ownership, so yes, I am very pro-microchipping. Something to be aware of when you're scanning for a chip is that they can travel, so you have to scan the entire body. It may have started in between the shoulder blades, but ended up in the upper forearm. It's important to perform a thorough check. Probably the most important tool in our arsenal is the catch pole. Whether you're dealing with a dog or a raccoon, the most common method of capture and restraint is the catch pole. These poles allow you to safely move an unpredictable animal. I've used them for dogs, foxes, groundhogs, and raccoons. Never use these on cats. Cats have very thin necks and have a tendency to thrash. This could kill them. Snares are good for the quick catch. Say you have a dog who won't remain still enough to loop the catch pole over. Snares use tension and release to quickly close the loop around the target. Kinda like pulling back the string on a bow creates enough force to send the arrow forward. Snares cause the loop to snap around the animal's neck, then you just have to pull back and further tighten the loop. I've never had the pleasure of using a tranq gun or a net gun, but I've been told they have their uses. Tranquilizer needs to be measured out so you get the right dose. Too little and your target doesn't fully calm down. Too much and you could cause health issues. Then you have to factor in the location. If the target runs off into the woods, you're going to have trouble finding them. Tranq is really only good if the target is confined to an area with one entrance. It also takes longer to affect the animal than the movies lead you to believe. And if they run, they could burn the sedative right out of their system. Choose wisely. Net guns are also not always practical. Do they work? I've heard it both ways. Some say they work great, others say not so much. Net guns are also a pain to reload. You gotta get the net folded back up in there just right, or the next person to use it might end up with a mangled mess. Other standard equipment include cat grabbers, snake tongs, leashes, and nets. These are all pretty self-explanatory. Kevlar vests are also fairly common. I definitely like the outer carriers better than the ones that are worn under your shirt. At least you can take the outer carriers off in between calls. Vehicle laptops are nice. I've done the job with and without a laptop. They're great because you can see the call type, the address, and the phone number of the complainant. Beats the heck out of asking dispatch to 109 because you still couldn't understand the address. It also makes typing up incident reports easy since you don't have to go back to the department to do it. If you get a laptop, chances are you're going to do e-tickets. I'm not really a fan of e-tickets personally. Yeah, court info is pre-filled, but I like to write out my citations. Press hard, 5 copies. That way, if someone complies, I can rip it up. E-tickets get submitted to court immediately and have to be nollied if you want to drop the charge. The last piece of equipment on my list today is a firearm. Not every department utilizes a firearm, but ACOs use them to dispatch wildlife. Whether it's a raccoon, fox, or deer hit by car, firearms are a humane method of euthanasia. The most common firearms used are 12-gauge shotguns and 22 caliber rifles, but other options include handguns, like the 45 caliber or 9mm. There's other stuff I tend to keep in the truck, such as binoculars, but this is pretty much all the main gear. Be sure to comment your thoughts and questions below. For now, this is ACO Twiggy calling 1042 until next time.